going on, everybody? All right, so today let's talk about this whole thing with WB, DC, and Paramount and how things are looking. I know there's a lot of people out there that are in their feelings and, they feel some type of way and stuff like that. But I feel we have to talk about this just because, it's important. This is really important. And I see a lot of people that are, kind of mixed and feeling some kind of way. But let's be honest, like we all want the best for this entertainment, right? And we all want the best for DC. Let's be real. That's what we really want. We want good entertainment and stuff like that. So for today's topic, I'm going to talk about mainly of what I'm thinking is going to be coming and what's probably right around the corner. Now, you have to remember everything I'm about to talk about today is just pretty much speculation, but it's kind of the obvious, it's common sense that we can see it and I see that it's happening. So I'm not going to sit here and argue with nobody, but I am going to talk about how I feel. So I'm going to look at some comments as we go and stuff like that. So I might not get to you and stuff like that, but just know that I am, focused on what we're going to be talking about because again, we have to be talking about this stuff. And this is straight up important, with this whole thing with DC, WB, and everything that has to do when it comes to, this whole thing with this acquisition right now, if you want to say. But it is what it is, So friendly reminder, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe, show your support. Next week I have issue 2 coming out digital for now for Rebel Defenders. If you don't know what that's about, go check out the website rebeldefenders.com. Issue 1's available. Issue 2 is dropping next Friday. So make sure to jump on board and show your support. If you like that gritty and you like that dark take on heroes and anti-heroes and all that stuff, that's what I'm building on my universe. All right. So check that out and more info and stuff like that, like I said, on the website. So let's talk about what today's topic is about. Because again, we have to talk about, this whole thing that's going on with WB and with, of course, DC. Because I know there's a lot of people that are right now feeling some type of way, and it's understandable. It is what it is, and I can understand it. I get that some people are kind of like, hey, like they're kind of disappointed that Netflix didn't win. And I look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I understand how that feels. And if I was in that position, I too would have, been on that side. But being realistically, I'm glad they lost. I've said it before and I will repeat myself. I'm glad that Netflix did not win. And we're going to talk about a few things why. All right. Now, before we do get into this, I just want to tell y'all real brief and I want to talk about what is really going on behind the scenes. All right. We all know. All right. I'm not going to talk about details and I'm not going to be going, into full details about it. But in the end, everything, every industry in this industry, if that makes sense, has to do, unfortunately, with politics. Again, I will not talk about politics and I won't get into it. This was all just about control over the media. All right. Let's not kid each other and let's not play around. That's the fact. All right. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm starting to see a pattern now. To me, it looks like the majority of people that wanted Netflix to win are part that support everything that has to do with agendas, low key, in one way, shape, or form, and they get offended when you say things how it is. But it is what it is, my friends. After all these years that we've been living under the political powers that were, and now that things changed, what's happening? We're seeing in the industry now, not only in the industry, everywhere. We're seeing how things are getting fixed, things are getting cleansed up. And then now we're going back to when, things weren't censored. And that offends and hurts a lot of people. Now, what does this have to do with the entertainment world? Well, very simple. If Netflix would have won and gotten WB, they were going to get a hold of everything that Paramount has literally got. And that would have been bad for business because we already saw what that lady Susan was saying, what agenda Netflix was trying to push. That already told you and it convinced you. It convinced me. I don't know about some of y'all that what their goal was. They just wanted to come after people politically. And I cannot stand and I will not support that. I will not back that up. So therefore, to me, Netflix was BSing everybody. Now we're seeing Paramount. Let's focus on the positive now. Paramount is straight up putting out, and they're going back to what was working. You don't believe me? The trailer for the new Scary Movie 6, I think, we got the Wayne's brothers, and they literally have said it. And I love how Paramount is allowing them to say, of course, freedom of speech, say how you want and how you want to put out your movie. And they're saying that they don't even care who gets offended. The trailer is out and people are already getting offended. And I love it. You know why? Because it's just showing you what society has become. This is a comedy movie. It's always been a comedy movie. Raunchy, silly, it offends, it's just stereotypes, all that stuff. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I grew up watching that type of content, and that's my type of content. And if you don't have and understand that sense of humor, it's not for you. Those type of movies are just not for you. And what I like about it is that they don't care, in the sense of they're gonna put it and they don't care who gets offended. And that's what I like. The industry is starting to reshape itself. All right. No more censorship. No more hiding how you feel. And I like that. We need that. In other words, this industry is starting to get courage. This society is slowly starting to crack out of its shell and starting to build up courage. People are starting to stand up for themselves. And we need that because it's been years, decades that we've all been silenced. Before, unfortunately, politics and all this that has to do, before the current, if you want to say, everything that has to do with the president, you couldn't say certain things in YouTube because they would censor you. They would try to cancel you. And all of that's what's corrupted and destroyed this entertainment business. Now let's fast forward it. How has that affected the movie industry, the music industry, comic industry, and everything? Simple. They wanted to push agendas, and we've been seeing that for years. I've had enough of it. A lot of people have had enough of it. This is why you see the crowds that support Netflix and want Netflix. Oh, but I believe in Netflix. No, I can see through their lies. Everything is clear on what they want to do. When they're siding with certain political sides, the same way how some people love to take sides, I don't take none. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just want the best. And yo, don't put no restrictions on anybody. That's it. And that I could back up. Seeing what Paramount is doing, they got balls again. They're showing the industry, yo, we're standing up to you. We're done with cancel culture. It's time to cancel culture itself. Boom, that's how you do it. You don't believe me? Look at the ads that are coming out now. What are they promoting? Megan Fox. You have this other girl, Sydney Sweeney. Beautiful women are getting put on the spotlight again. Before, what were they pushing? Everything that was, oh, let's try to normalize it. Let's try to do this and let's try to do that. Come on, man. Let's be real. Swapping, gender swapping, race swapping, and all that crap, right? And that all affected the movie industry. That affected the music industry. It affected our comics, our entertainment. It affected our collectibles. That's how it's gotten so deep into this industry. And now that all that fat is getting trimmed off because nobody cares about it, we all know the phrase, go woke, go broke. And it's proven. Disney is the perfect example that we can say and go off of. Let's be honest. The moment that James Gunn came over to DC, starting with the Suicide Squad, we knew we were in bad hands. If you've been following me, you know that I've been telling you since day one, James Gunn has been the Trojan horse. And look at where we are right now. Nothing with DC is getting attention. And every time it gets more and more memes, mocked at, laughed at, and it's just going down the drain. Yesterday, at the time of this recording, March, 4th, 2026. Today is March 5th. In less than 24 hours, we got a teaser trailer for Lanterns. That's the most recent thing. Wow, the internet is on fire. Less than 24 hours, everybody's roasting that trailer, making all type of memes. Here we go again. This is what DC has become. It's become a joke, honestly. And people are tired. They're fed up with that. And it's showing you. This is why, like I said, let Paramount cook with DC. Let them do what they have to do. There's all these people talking, crying and complaining, and oh, but I don't believe because of this and because of that. Look, man, let's be honest, man. You haven't even seen anything they've put out yet. We're on the right track again. All right. If the Wayne's brothers can put out Scary Movie 6 with no holds bar, meaning there's no censorship, and they know people are gonna get offended. They don't care. I can back that up. Paramount is going to what was working. They're putting out good content. They're putting out the stuff that know that they know was making the money. Money. They're going back and reviving a dead franchise, which was The Mummy. All right. How long has it been? It's been years that we haven't gotten a movie of The Mummy, and they're bringing Brandon Fraser again, and they're reviving that franchise. What do you think they're gonna do with DC once James Gunn is out? Because don't think that James Gunn's gonna stick around long. He's not gonna stick around DC as the CEO. Hell no! I'm telling you right now, he's gone and he knows it. How come he's been quiet? This is why I'm telling you. Let Paramount cook. They're watching, they're hearing, they're taking notes. The same way that some of y'all were like, oh, but Netflix and this and that. Man, look, that's a done deal. They're out of the picture. We don't talk about them no more. That's it. Moving forward, we're focusing on Paramount that owns and is about to have everything at WB. That I back up. Once they end up seeing what the trajectory of James Gunn is, don't think that they don't. Don't think that they're not going to clean house and they're not going to go back to what was working. Of course they are. This is why you're seeing now the James Gunn cult is crying and complaining at the moment everywhere. And they're like, oh, no, we can't go with Paramount. Oh, but this and that. Pulling up fake old news about, oh, remember before this whole sale happened, yes, there was rumors. And you could go back to my videos that I was like, yo, if Paramount wants to keep James Gunn, the mission remains the same. Restore the Snyderverse. That's it. This is why I told y'all I never backed up the whole sell to Netflix and none of that movement. Because here we are. It didn't sell. And then what? We look like fools with a hashtag that's literally dead. I'm sorry, but that's just what the reality is. We go back to square one. What are we fighting for? The restoration of the Snyderverse. Regardless, that's the mission until we get it. When we fought for the Snyder Cut, we all came together and we united for release the Snyder Cut. We're still fighting for release the Air Cut, and we're gonna get it. And now that we have the Snyder Cut, what's the next mission? Restoring the Snyderverse. Whether Paramount, you know, gives us what we want, we have to keep on pushing. But I'm telling you, I'm convinced. I know, like I told y'all, watching the end that Netflix is not going to win, and here we are. Many made fun of me. Many said that I was a fake fan. Many told me all type of things. I even got threats and everything, but I don't care. I stayed focused, and here we are. Paramount, all right? Paramount for the win. If Paramount's going back and bringing back Michael Bay for the Transformers, they knew that that was making them money. They already tried so many years without Michael Bay. That's it. It's proven. You need to go back to what was working. They were in better hands with Transformers under Michael Bay. Don't think that they don't know that DC was in better hands than what it is with James Gunn. James Gunn has been destroying and ripping apart DC. And in the end, like I told y'all, before these reports are coming out, I told y'all, remember I said it's common sense. You can see it. James Gunn in the Trojan horse came in with Peter Safran, destroyed everything. They're still destroying everything at WB. So nothing connects within their cinematic universe. And once they're done and they fulfill the mission, what are they going to do? They're going to go back to Marvel. And that's what's going to happen. James Gunn, in the end, is going to go back to Marvel. James Gunn doesn't want to take orders from the Ellison. And knowing that this company is not going to push agendas, you think James Gunn's going to be sitting there and saying, yeah, I'll take your orders, wagging his tail and saying, yeah, what you want me to do next? No. James Gunn's going to go back to where they push agendas. And unfortunately, that's back at Disney with Marvel. That's what they're all about. And hearing these reports about the next Avengers movie and how things are starting to sound, I'm starting to lose hope and faith at Marvel. You know, and I told you I was excited for it. But hearing what they're saying, what Spider-Man is going to be, and how they're going to start catering to the shills, and, you know, it's just not, that's not what you do. That's not what you do. Now is the time for Paramount to seriously take the win from the superhero genre. How? Very simple. What they need to do is just go back to what was working. You want to dethrone Marvel and the Avengers? Very simple. Restore the Snyderverse. You want to make money at the box office, like you're saying? Restore the Snyderverse. You want people to fill up your theaters and buy your merchandise? Restore the Snyderverse. That's 3 options already. And then in those 3, when you combine them, and you really give the fans what they want. You get away from James Gunn and his DCU. You go back to what was working, which was the Snyderverse. You leave Zack Snyder in charge. You bring in David Ayer, James Wan, Patty Jenkins. Go back to where things left off and continue it. See how easy that was? You just go back and do a hard reset. You don't have to reboot, just reset. The same way that James Gunn is retconning things, you could retcon things like that. If Zack Snyder already did it, baby, how? With Justice League. Remember? Everybody was like, oh, but Justice League and this and that. No, even Patty Jenkins admitted it. She's like, no, we acknowledge Zack Snyder's Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League didn't get a full chance. It was released during the pandemic, streaming. So it's time for Paramount, if they really want to win points within the superhero genre, this is what you go about. You announce Zack Snyder is back, and you release theatrically Zack Snyder's Justice League, and money's gonna start coming in because now people are gonna start being like, "Oh wow, okay, yeah, I'm believing in them again." And this is what I think Netflix was not going to do. Netflix never gave a damn about theatrical releases. Before this whole sale, they should have been focused on theatrical releases. All of a sudden, because we're gonna enter a bidding war, we want to buy it and we want to lie to everybody. No, don't come at me now. Don't come at me now. It's too late. You should have done that years ago. You should have been doing that. You should have. Keyword. You should have been doing it. But no, Netflix always was focused on streaming. And everybody that says, oh, but Netflix wanted to do this and they wanted to do that. Keyword, they wanted, but they never did it. That's the difference. How come they never put Rebel Moon in theaters? Huh? Oh, but all of a sudden, because they're gonna acquire DC. Come on. Come on. Let's stop the lies. Let's be real. Now we're seeing that Paramount is all about theatrical releases, and they're like, "Yo, we're gonna put it out, and we're gonna do a 45-day window. And if it does better than that, we're gonna still let it keep on running." There we go. Now we're talking. Hell yeah, hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. They're not coming out. Oh, we're gonna do like Netflix. Oh, we're gonna put it out for 15 days. In theatrical, and then we're gonna put it straight to streaming. Come on, you want to put it straight to streaming. You don't give a damn. And now this whole merger with WB, with HBO Max and Paramount, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the way. This is how you go. This is how you approach it, professionally and business wise. You know why? Because now you combine everything into one streaming service. Call it whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't care. Just keep it simple. Don't confuse your audience. Don't confuse your fans. When I'm on your server, I don't want to get overwhelmed. I want it to be simple. I want it to be easy. I want to see this. Okay, click. Boom, 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 boom. That's your problem, how you want to rename it or rebrand it or whatever. Just stick and keep it simple. Stay to what's working. That's it. Now, once they announce, all right, because I know it's coming. Many, know it's the business. Once Paramount announces, hey, we're gonna fix DC, right? What do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna reboot again? Why would they? They could go back and just continue where things left off. So Paramount, if you're listening, if anybody from your team is listening, take notes. Again, all you have to do is just announce the return of Zack Snyder, that you're gonna continue that, and that's gonna be the main thing moving forward. And you're gonna branch off and completely cut off, James Gunn. Because let's be real, with James Gunn, all he's done is destroyed the DC brand. James Gunn has not fixed anything at DC. On the contrary, he keeps on destroying it. And he's doing a fantastic job at it, unfortunately. I'm telling you straight up. In the end, the Snyderverse is going to get restored. These James Gunn cultists are crying because they know that they can't stop us. You have all these shills, all these blue check marks, still doing the same thing. You see these fake YouTubers that they were all jumping for clout, they were all getting paid, and it still didn't work. They were all shilling, and we saw it. Now that there's no money to pay these shills, they're not talking about it. And now they're turning on DC. You see all these shills now saying, yo, fire James Gunn. What is he doing with James Gunn? With the lanterns. That's what James Gunn has done. People don't have hope or excitement for Supergirl. Everybody knows that that movie is going to fail and flop at the box office. Drunk Girl, that's not going to help the company. It's just doing worse, honestly. In the end, like I'm telling y'all, Paramount knows what they're doing. Let them do what they have to. Just be patient. Things don't happen overnight. Things are going to get restored. They're restoring their company. So when people are like, oh, they're going to lay off a lot of people, That's what every company does. That's what happens during bad economy. That's what happens when you have to shape and reshape things. Disney did it recently. Oh, but nobody's talking about that, right? What do you think? Netflix is not going to do it? I'm sure they are. They have to. Everybody has to do it. It happens. It's business. It's part of business. It happens at every company, everywhere, whether it's small company, big company. It happens. What can you do? And people are trying to hold against that, against Paramount. Oh, but they're gonna lay off people. It happens. What can you do? They have to do what's best for business. And especially with this whole acquisition of WB, they have to make back their money. You think they're gonna make back their money with James Gunn? Let's be real, man. No, they're not. Don't think that they don't know the numbers. And like I told y'all, they could go ahead and start filming Superman Man of Tomorrow. They could film whatever they want. But notice after Superman, Man of Tomorrow, if we even get there, there's nothing else after that. What else is there? They haven't announced anything. And most of the stuff that James Gunn has announced has been canceled. It's been canceled. It's delayed. It's something, right? How come we only have right now for this year? All we have is what at the end Clayface, and we have now Supergirl coming up in the summer, and that's it. That's it. That's what DC has become. Once Paramount does take over, like I said, they can do a lot. And if they want to focus on this 30 movies or whatever it is that they want to do, that's nothing. They have the money. All they have to do is get the right people, right teams, right production, and that's it. Start filming. That's it. It doesn't take long to film a movie. If you have the money, especially like they have the money, it doesn't take long. You can film a good movie literally like in 6 months or less, depending who you're working with. Now it depends also on the budget, but 6 months or less, and then you put it in post and you start working on it another 6 months. There you go. You have a year ready to go. And that's just one movie. And if they have different directors and all this stuff, with projects and stuff, they have the money to do it. They have the studios. That's the least of the problem. It's just coming up with the good and right content. Now, a lot of people are also complaining about this whole thing because, oh, they're going to be using AI as a tool. Let me stop everybody and tell y'all this, all right? Everybody is using AI. That's you, that's me, everybody all over the world. You don't believe me? PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 games have AI installed in them. Did you not know? I'm sure you do. If you're using your watch or your phone and you're telling it what to type or, responses and stuff, that's AI also. Whatever ways that you're using that it's going to do that, guess what? That's all part of AI. AI has been here for the longest and it's going to stay here. I like that Paramount is actually acknowledging it, and we have to give them credit. As we keep on moving forward into the future, AI is part of the future, unfortunately. All right. It's like anything else, how you use it and where you use it. That's the difference. Paramount's saying that they're going to keep using AI as a tool. Haven't I been talking about that? You should use AI as a tool. And that's what we're seeing right now with all these videos. There's so many AI videos out there constantly coming up on the internet with Henry Cavill's Superman, Ben Affleck's Batman, Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, fighting among each other, Justice League, what these ideas can be. That's what it is. They're all ideas. If fans are putting this stuff out there with AI, imagine what the studios can do when they're having group meetings and what they're doing in the boards. They're like, hey, look, we want to work on this next movie. We just did an AI video so you can get a better picture, of what's going to happen in this scene. Boom, there we go. Hasn't Disney also said that they're going to be using AI? Haven't all these studios? I'm sure that they do. Didn't we just see in 2025, this game of the year? I think it was called Expedition 33. They won game of the year, and guess what? They used AI, and they got backlash for it, but they still used AI, and they won game of the year. All right. So AI is in everything, literally. If you're home and you're using your Hey Alexa, guess what? That's AI. Hey Siri, how about this? Tell me where this is at. That's AI too. That's what I'm telling y'all. Sometimes people don't know how to separate things and talk with a valid reason. Movies are going to have to use AI. It's just a tool. Now, if you make the whole full movie in AI, that's a different story. But didn't we hear also that James Gunn used AI for his movie of Superman? Yeah, because I remember hearing that. Oh, but we don't talk about that, right? Because it's not convenient. Oh, that's a no-no, right? Get out of here with that. We know that Zack Snyder is just like A lot of directors, they like to use practical CG, all that good stuff. So all this technology is literally at the palm of your hand and you're not going to use it. That's BS. You're going to use it. Isn't Disney right now using those big backgrounds instead of green screen? And they used it for Mandalorian. They've used it for so many movies. Oh, but we don't talk about that, right? James Gunn used it when he did that flight and he had that big old panoramic view in the back with the ice, right? When Superman was flying. Oh, but we don't talk about that, right? Because it's James Gunn, the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy, the double standards, right? It doesn't apply to one and not the other. No, it applies to everything. Let's be real. James Gunn used AI for his slop films and they still came out bad. Even that didn't work. What is this telling you? The DCU is coming to an end. Once Paramount sees at all that's before them, what are they going to do? They're going to be like, well, this worked. This didn't work. This really worked. Oh, wow. People were coming out for this. They know the statistics. They know the numbers. They're keeping track. They have record of everything. What do you think WB David Zaslav's going to be like? Oh, yeah, this movie cost us this much, but we lost this much? Oh, but you guys barely made budget? I know if I was on the board, I'd be like, yeah, is this a joke? Like, you're okay with you making back budget. Really? Where's the profit? So why are you in this business? That's what they're gonna see. You can't be in business and be like, hey, as long as I make budget back, that's okay. I won't make profit, but I'll make budget. That's got to be the most stupidest thing to say in business. Everybody that's in business is in business to win. I've never heard a company say, hey, as long as we make budget back, we're good. We're okay. We're fine. No, you're not. Let's be real. You know, it's a perfect example on those what is it, Chef Ramsay and on all these cooking channels. You know, it's probably a terrible example, but it's what comes up to my mind. They call up the chef to come and help the company, and the chef is like, what the hell, this is what you're doing, no wonder your company's sinking. And most of the time those companies either succeed or they go bankrupt and they close, unfortunately, because they don't want to take the advice from a professional chef. Now let's look at this. All right, Zack Snyder's a chef. James Gunn is a chef too. I'll give him some credit. All right. But what's the difference between these two, especially with DC? I'll tell you. James Gunn, he can quote unquote cook, right? Because he's still putting out his work and doing what he's doing and whatnot. All right. Now, the difference between that chef, you know, James Gunn, and a true chef, a master at what he does is Zack Snyder. You might be like, oh, but you're a Snyder fan, and here you go because you know you're delusional and you're a cultist, and that's because you idolize him. No, let's be real. Zack Snyder understands the job. He understands the assignment. Zack Snyder knows that Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are big iconic characters. He knows that Batman has limits. He knows that Superman and Wonder Woman are gods. If we go back to Batman versus Superman, in that scene where you see Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman fighting Doomsday, observe Batman. Batman is just standing there with his little grapple gun, and he's like, damn, I can't do nothing because I don't have no special abilities. Meanwhile, Doomsday's kicking Superman and Wonder Woman's ass. They're going at it, right? But these are gods. These are true monsters. They're a real threat. You think Batman's going to go into that fight? No, let's be real. Batman's going to get handed. That's the difference. So Zack Snyder knows the limits that these characters have. Meanwhile, James Gunn with Superman 2025, the movie starts off Superman getting his ass handed. The movie continues Superman getting his ass handed. The movie finishes with Superman getting his ass handed. So throughout the whole movie of Superman 2025, from beginning, middle, and end, Superman got his ass kicked. That movie was not about Superman. That movie was everybody else besides Superman, because everybody else had to come in, including the dog Crypto, to save Superman. How are you portraying Superman? Superman's supposed to be this powerful god. He's a powerful being. And James Gunn's literally turning him into a joke. He's a weakling. Oh, he's pathetic. That's how you portraying Superman? That's why that movie tanked. It didn't work because the audience can't connect with that Superman. It's a joke. That's literally what it is. Lex Luthor in Superman 2025, a big crybaby. Big crybaby. Complaining. Oh, I want to take Superman. I want to get him. I want to do this. Really? When we saw Jesse Eisenberg in Batman versus Superman, That's a Lex Luthor from the comics. And it was building up to it. And we could see it. We can literally see it. Yes, he has hair, but at the end of the movie, we see the real Lex Luthor. And then in Zack Snyder's Justice League, at the end, what do we see? Lex Luthor. He's bald. He's wearing, the suit. He's in his rich yacht, and he has Deathstroke approaching him, literally having a conversation with Deathstroke, telling him, "You want to know who the Batman is?" And it was setting up Ben Affleck's Batman. And just that momentum, just that little small, what it was, like 2 or 3 minute scene, it gets you excited for what was to come. But no, DC doesn't want to move forward with that. Instead, DC wants to move with Peacemaker, with James Gunn. Oh, go ahead, throw an orgy in there. Oh, let's go all ham, right? Let's do whatever we want to do. That's what James Gunn is pushing and promoting. Agendas, my friends. That's called an agenda. And if you back that up, you're part of the problem. If you're here saying, "Oh, well, James Gunn knows how to cook and I like that scene, I have no problem with it," you're part of the problem. If you sat there and you watched it knowing what you were going to watch, knowing that show was going to be worse than the previous one, you're part of the problem too. That's why I'm glad that a lot of fans are coming together and they're like, nope, they're just straight up turning away from DC. DC is slowly dying out. And at this point, is literally RIP to it. It's amazing to see how Zack Snyder puts a picture of a quote unquote dead universe, like, some of these like to say, but in reality, it's more alive than ever because a dead universe has no following, no fans, and no interaction. Zack Snyder posts one picture of anything with the DC that he was doing, and the whole internet, including the shills, lose their mind. They all want more. They start speculating. Everybody start talking, whether it's good or bad. When James Gunn posts something, everything gets turned into a meme. It's a joke. James Gunn cultists are only able to use the one or two jokes from the whole Snyderverse, the Kal-El and the Martha. That's it. That's it. Those are the only two jokes you can pull. Meanwhile, when we dig into our bag of tricks, what can we pull out to meme James Gunn's slop? Everything. Super flop, super drunk, brown lanterns, and the list continues, right? Everything that James Gunn puts out is a joke, and it will continue to be a joke. This is what I'm telling you. Paramount knows what they're doing. They know that once they start moving forward with DC, they're not going to move forward with James Gunn. It will completely be suicidal business wise to do that. That would literally lead them into bankruptcy, and they can't afford that. This is why they're making all these adjustments, changes, everything in the company. They're restructuring themselves. They're rebuilding everything within the company. And some might be like, "Oh, but they haven't said anything. They're gonna move forward with James Gunn or restore Snyderverse." They don't have to right now. Right now, like I said, they can keep moving forward. How and what they're doing. They're dealing with the money part in the background. Let them do what they have to do. That's it. But once they come and fully come out, don't think that they're not gonna announce something. I'm telling you, my friends, we're in March. This month marks the 10th year anniversary of Batman versus Superman from Zack Snyder. Amazing, amazing. I remember seeing that movie like if it was yesterday. At the time, I went to a special private screening from WB. What an amazing time it was. It was amazing. They even gave us posters. I still have the poster there rolled up. Amazing. Fantastic. Everybody was like, wow, when they saw that movie. The only ones that were not in wow were the shills and those critics. That, again, you cannot please critics and you'll never please critics. And seeing how Paramount is putting out now Scary Movie 6 with the Wayans brothers is them telling the industry, especially Hollywood and cancel culture, go F yourself. Big middle finger up. Straight up. That's how it is. That's how it is. Giving the finger to cancel culture and everybody that gets offended. Straight up. I can back that up because I am tired of all the agendas and all the trash that Hollywood for years has been dumping and forcing us to accept that it's quote unquote normal. This is normal. That is normal. No, it's not. We know that it's not. Stop forcing it into us. And then you open your comic book. Ah, here we go again. You play your video game. Ah, shit. Here we go again. You watch your movie. Here we go again. Damn. I can't enjoy anything. That's the problem. And those are the same people that are crying because, Oh, the Ellisons are the ones that are in power now. Oh, this, who cares? I could back that up. They're standing up for what is right. It's called having courage. For far too long, we let cancel culture slowly creep in, and they took control of the media. They did. We know what they're about. I won't get into details. But seeing how Paramount's right now literally standing up to cancel culture and everybody, they don't care. They're like, we're still going to be making movies. They have Sonic. Look at what happened with Paramount, my friends. Wake up. When Paramount came out with the first Sonic movie and we saw that ugly design, everybody was like, oh, hell no. Nah. Hell no. Nah. The fans made the studio go back and edit Sonic and fix it. And they were like, oh, hold on, the backlash. Whoa, the backlash is an uproar. And what did they do? They went back, they fixed it. And where are they right now? 4 movies in. We're going to the fourth one. They just started filming. 4 movies in with a show on Paramount Plus. That's how you do it, my friends. And what do you think? That they're not going to be listening to us, especially with knowing the shape that DC is in? Come on, man. Wake up. Of course they are. Paramount knows and they're aware. They're going to be like, yo, we know that majority of the fans want the Snyderverse restored. We know majority of the fans want Henry Cavill as Superman. We know that Ben Affleck was robbed and he never got his own standalone movie. That's already 3 things you can fix. You go back and fix it. Plain and simple. Bring back Ben Affleck. Announce the Ben Affleck's Batman movie. Cancel Robert Pattinson's movie and watch. I guarantee you make over $1 billion. You need a debt to pay, right? Go ahead and announce that. That's $1 billion. And I'll keep on repeating myself. Announce Man of Steel 2, $2 billion. You want to make some more? You want some more? Bring in Black Adam versus Henry Cavill Superman. Continue where things left off. I guarantee you that'll be $1 billion movie. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. And I get it. Oh, Black Adam wasn't part of the Snyderverse. That's true. It was part of somewhat from the Hamadaverse. But at least I give credit to The Rock because he brought Henry Cavill. And I give him credit because that movie was much more better than whatever the hell's going on with James Gunn and his regime and all that crap. So the tone was still within that whole Snyderverse feel, if you want to say. And I could back that up. So now you got to look at the picture and be like, hold on, that's Black Adam. That's Henry Cavill Superman. Yo, this is the same universe. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If it would have been a different Superman like David Cornsweet, then yeah, I don't care what the hell they do with it. But it's still part of the DCEU connected within what was already started, which was the Snyderverse. And I get it. Some people are going to be like, oh, but it's because it's not part of what Zack Snyder did. So you're going to tell me that because James Wan did the first Aquaman is not part of the Snyderverse? Let's be real, my friends. Let's be real. Aquaman, we were on the path to goodness. Aquaman was casted. Jason Momoa was casted as Aquaman to do his standalone film, right? And we made $1 billion with it. I don't care if Hamada was attached. I don't care if they were going through what they were doing. I look at it as that's still Jason Momoa and that's still Aquaman. It made $1 billion. Justice League, before that movie came out, made what? Like, I think it was like 600 million, almost like 700 million or something like that. For what it was, it still did good. But now, for Paramount to really test the waters, you want to make another $1 billion on top of that, baby? That's already you're sitting on 3. You're trying to get out that debt, right? You know what else gonna make you another over $1 billion? Announce Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3. Boom, guaranteed, guaranteed. And you want to add more to it? Say that you're gonna release Zack Snyder's Justice League like it was meant to be, in IMAX, theatrically. Boom, that's another $1 billion. Plus, you already got over $5 billion sitting right there at the palm of your hands. What are you waiting for, WB? What are you waiting for, Paramount? Make it happen. We're all waiting. I'm ready to buy it. I'm ready to go out there and watch it and rewatch it. I don't care. I have it on physical. I don't care. I'll go and watch that probably 10 times. I don't care. I know many of us will. Do the math. You're going to make money. And this is why I'm seeing why Netflix didn't want to do that. Netflix doesn't care about theatrical runs because then they have to split profits with the movie theaters. And we saw how bad that did with Superman 2025 because we were hearing so many things. Oh, they spent this much. They made this much. You know, they were putting the numbers high. It was low. It was medium. They didn't know what to do. And now After we're seeing that Ted Sarandos, he was trying to buy WB, saying that Superman 2025 underperformed. That's telling you everything. That's telling you that nobody cares about it. That's telling you nobody's interested. Therefore, it was a flop. Say what you want, but that's what it is. Accept the reality. That's what the James Gunn fans can't accept. They don't accept the facts. They can't accept the truth. That is the truth. Paramount winning this whole bidding war that we've been talking for almost 4 months. Remember, I was telling you at the beginning, I was like, yo, this bidding war is going to be nuts. And I said it. I told y'all, remember I said it. I was like, it probably is going to surpass 100 billion. And it did. 111 billion it closed. That's nuts. So if they have 111 billion to buy out Warner Brothers, what do you think that it's going to cost them to do Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 or 3? What's another what? What's another what? I don't know, almost what, 500,000, maybe $1 million. I don't know. I'm just exaggerating, probably, to make a Justice League 2 and 3. It's probably not even gonna cost that much. Because if Zack Snyder could film a beautiful, lovely scene with Wayne T. Carr as Green Lantern in his parking lot with green screen on his phone, you know what that tells me? If I was part of WB or Paramount, I'll be like, yo, he's saving us a lot of money. We're gonna bring in a lot of money if we end up releasing these movies. And then that's what they need to do. They need to announce it and say, look, we're gonna end ties with James Gunn. We wish him the best. The same how David Zaslav said, oh, we wish Netflix the best, but we look forward to working with Paramount. That's exactly what they need to do. Oh, we're excited to bring Zach back. We're looking forward to, going back to what was working and, giving the fans what they want. I'm telling you, you're going to win points with the audience, unlike what Netflix was doing. Netflix didn't care about theaters. They didn't. Netflix were greedy. They were like, we want to hog everything up. We don't want to split our profits with the movie theaters. That's bad for business. No, it's not. You're ruining and destroying the movie theaters. That's why these movie theaters are worried. And now, I think it was somebody from AMC that just came out recently. I know it's from one of the theaters that they're happy that Paramount are going to buy WB. You're damn right. I'm happy too, because that means we're all going to win. Fans, the movie theaters, physical media collectors, like also streamers, because some people don't want to go. Okay, cool. You got the option to stream it. Pick and choose which one you want. I'm going to go out there and watch it in person, so I don't care. And then, on a rainy day, I'll probably be inside and watching it from home. The point is, hey, in due time, I know I'll have that in my collection, because I need in my collection of the DCEU/Snyderverse, Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3. I need that to my collection. I have the spot there waiting. Literally, it's right there waiting to add to that collection. I'm sure many of you too. I need Ben Affleck's Batman to add to my collection. I need Man of Steel 2 to continue in my collection. This is what I'm telling you. They do all of this. That's how they're going to start making money. And they're going to be seeing, yeah, this is what the fans want. This is what the customer, and most of all, the consumer. Because when you keep your customers, fans, and consumers happy, guess what? They're going to come back. They're going to come back and keep on supporting. And that's the beautiful part about it. Seeing Paramount, I have faith. I know that they're going to do us all justice. And like I told you, my friends, in the end, no matter how and what you're going through, how dark you might feel that there's no light at the end of the tunnel, always remember one thing, my friends, because we've all been through injustice and we've all been through some type of injustice deed. Always remember that in the end, justice always wins. It might take time, but in the end, justice always wins and we come out on top. Zack Snyder said it himself. Remember, Zack Snyder said in that interview recently with I forgot the podcast, but he was saying that during his darkest, deepest moments, when he was going through what he was going through, he was like, "No, man, I'm not gonna be able to see my cut. I'm not gonna see Justice League." Zack put everything into it, and he's like, "There's no way." Why? Because of what was going on with the powers that were at WB, with what he was going through, personal stuff. And he even says it on the interview. Politics. Unfortunately, it's the politics behind it. Politics always doesn't involve, hey, I'm this color or I'm that color. No, politics is just who you're going up against, whether you're on their side or you're against it. And you all know that for years I've been on this channel talking, and I've been strictly talking about. Before I started talking about all this DC stuff, I was talking about toys and reviews and stuff like that. And even with that is related to the Snyderverse. Go look at my videos. So yeah, I've always been a collector and I've always supported the DCEU, everything it has to do, from the Snyderverse. And what do we have now? After all that, when you have Zack saying, yo, yeah, we're never gonna see it. And we have it. Look at the positive. Out of all the negative that was dark, at the end of the tunnel, you, my friends, wherever you are around this world right now, whatever time zone you're in, whatever climate you're in, whatever conditions or whatever you're going through, if you use the hashtag when we were fighting for release the Snyder Cut, and you used it and you promoted it and you pushed it and people laughed at you, mocked at you, offended you, insulted you, disrespected you, even threatened you like they did to me, we didn't stop. We didn't stop then. So why are we going to stop now? When everybody was like, oh yeah, when Ann Sarnoff, oh yeah, we want to thank Zack Snyder for his trilogy. What trilogy? What trilogy? A trilogy is when you have one specific thing and it continues. Star Wars has trilogies. Jurassic Park has trilogies. The DCEU doesn't have a trilogy. It doesn't. Zack Snyder gave us Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, and Justice League. That's not a trilogy. It's not. You know what's a trilogy? Man of Steel 2, Man of Steel 3. That's a trilogy. Wonder Woman 2, Wonder Woman 3. That's a trilogy. How come we didn't get Ben Affleck's Batman? Ben Affleck's Batman 2 and 3. That's a trilogy. That's what I'm trying to say, my friends. If we didn't give up and we didn't surrender during that fight and during those moments, why are we going to give up now? Especially over sometimes, unfortunately, a pointless hashtag. This is why I told y'all time after time, I'm looking at it from a business standpoint. And to anybody that's telling me, oh, you're not a business, you don't know about business. I have a freaking comic book. I'm going to my second run. That's a business owner. That's telling you I know what I'm talking about. All right? Because it's not easy doing that, my friends. It's very difficult, especially a one man doing the operation of so many until it grows. It takes time. So I can only imagine what these companies are going through. They have several teams. And then when you have all these teams, everybody wants to be like they're in high school. Oh, pick and choose. You're with him. Oh, you're not my friend. Oh, you're with that one. Then you're against me. Oh, but you were with that one. Now you're with this one. Yo, come on. That's all politics. That all falls under politics too, unfortunately. So when you look at the big picture, don't think Paramount is not aware that there's a huge demand for this. Even Christopher Nolan was like, yo, I hope Paramount wins. Christopher Nolan, man, Zack Snyder's buddy. That's his friend. He's the one that appointed. Yo, Christopher Nolan is the one that appointed Zack Snyder for the beginning of the DCEU with Man of Steel. What is that telling you? He knows what's up. Christopher Nolan was like, I'll never work and I'll never do nothing for Netflix. And I can back that up. As a content creator, I can back that up. I'll never work for Netflix or a company that only wants to focus strictly on streaming. That's like saying I want to work for a company that they don't care about the consumer. They just want to try to rip them off. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You have to give the fans what they want. And when you do that and you keep them happy, they're going to keep on supporting you. They're going to keep on buying and they're going to keep on coming back. That's the problem with WB. For years, we've had to fight them. We went up against what it was, the AT&T merger, what it was now, the Discovery, and now we're going into with Paramount. Some people are like, oh, watch, they're going to sell again. And, every 5 years, that's when they're doing bad. You think Paramount's about to lose this and say, yeah, we're going to sell it? No, my friends. Paramount knows exactly what they have. And it gives me chills telling you this because Paramount saw the potential and they were willing to get this at all costs. Paramount was like, we will stop at nothing. They literally showed everybody. They showed the world, we will stop at nothing. And that's what they did. They did not stop. Every time WB kept on denying it, I was like, hold on, something here isn't right. How the hell is David Zaslav turning down 100 billion, but he's gonna settle for 80 billion? Dude, you're losing 20 billion. It just doesn't make sense. Nobody says, yo, I want the less, but I know it's worth more. We knew something was up. We knew something was, something sounded too shady. I'm glad that this is all finally over with. And what do we have now? Paramount is fixing things in the industry. They don't have to fix things in the whole industry, but they're fixing things within their side of the industry, making good movies. And I could back that up. And I will back that up. I tell everybody, especially if you like the movies like scary movie, that type of comedy and stuff, that's your style, go out and watch the next one. Because even the Waynes, they even said it, they're like, we'll make Don't Be a Menace 2, and we'll make White Chicks 2, depending on the success of Scary Movie 6. And I'm telling you right now, that's going to make some money at the box office. I'm telling you. I'm down to see another Don't Be a Menace to Society too. That movie's hilarious. If you don't have that type of humor, you won't understand it. That's the thing. A lot of people, especially this generation, won't understand that type of humor. Same thing with White Chicks. Because everybody's been so censored. Everybody's so censored. You can't say this, you can't say that, you can't think like this, you can't think like that, because that's not the right thing to do. No, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. This is why people don't have common sense. And I'm glad that common sense is finally making its way back, because people are finally able to stand up and determine for themselves what's good and what's not. That's it. Plain and simple. Oh, I want to support this movie. I don't want to support this movie. That's it. Nobody's forcing you to. And what they're trying to do with Warner Brothers before this whole sale, what they're doing with James Gunn, they're just trying to show and force the fans, this is what you're going to eat. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. We proved them. We won. That's it. We made history, and we're still making history, and we're going to make history. We won against the studio. Zack Snyder even said it. It's the fans. Thanks to the fans that we have the Snyder cut. That's it. It's not the studio. Zack is even acknowledging us, and he even said it. He's like, to everybody that's saying that our community is toxic and everything that's bad, go F yourselves. And I'll say it just like that. It feels good to say that. To all you James Gunn fanatics out there and everybody that's against Zack Snyder and you don't like what Zack Snyder cooks, go F yourself. Seriously, it feels good to finally say that. Go F yourselves. You know why? Because you're the fake fans that's always been part of this problem. You're the ones that, let's push this agenda. Let's go ahead and censor this one. Let's go ahead and cancel this person. Go ahead, cancel me. I got 2 words for you. Suck it. Straight up. And it feels good to be able to say that without not having to worry about, cancel culture. Cancel culture is going to come after me. Screw cancel culture. You're getting canceled now. And that's their fear. They know it because they lost power for years. We're seeing all these sexy ads coming back, and I'm glad. It's about damn time. I'm tired of all these magazines trying to push and promote that, being this or being that, it's okay. It's normal. No, it's not. It's unhealthy. Let's be real. Stop pushing that agenda. Let's be real. This is why people are on certain medications, because they try to normalize certain unhealthy foods and diets that are not. Stop it with the agendas. Again, it's our turn to cancel that in society. And people have realized, people are waking up. And it's good to see that. It's good to see that because people are finally realizing and waking up. Now, all of this, some of you might be like, well, what does this have to do with the movie industry? Plain and simple, Paramount is standing up to everything and everyone that's not with them. And I am sure that Paramount is like, you know what? Rotten Tomatoes can suck it. And that's how it should be. It has to be like that. Because why should we allow a company like Rotten Tomatoes to tell us and dictate to us, hey, go watch this movie. Hey, you know what? This movie is not fresh. But guess what? Joke's on them. They made Superman 2025 Peacemaker in the high 90s, almost like 100%. We saw through your lies. You guys ain't making money. There's no season 3 for Peacemaker. And Superman, Man of Tomorrow, is in shambles. We don't know. At the end, it could just be just like Batgirl, a tax write-off. And I can't wait. I can't wait. Supergirl coming up is going to be the next big flop. Be honest. That's what it's going to be. It's not going to make money at the box office. This is why they're trying to push out small numbers right now. Oh, they're spending 200 million. Yeah, so when it comes out and it makes more than 200 million, you're going to say then, oh, it was a success, right? The same like y'all said for Superman. Superman had a 500 million budget. Oh, but it made 600 million. That's it. That's it. That's all. What happened to the 1 billion? What happened to the Batman? I thought the Batman was going to replace Ben Affleck's Batman. Oh, the Batman with Robert Pattinson, when it was announced, is going to surpass the Snyderverse. Oh, I'm glad the Snyderverse is done. Oh, really? How come we're still talking about the Snyderverse all these years, huh? I'm telling you, all that is changing, man. And that's the beauty of it. I'm telling you, the world is realizing and they're waking up. Yeah. Yeah, it's time. We want good quality. That's all it is. They want good quality. People want this good stuff. And people are just tired of all the agendas. Everywhere you go, there's some type of agenda. People have had enough with that. And they know it. Cancel culture knows that they've lost power. They know that they pulled the plug on them. And I'm happy. I'm happy that Paramount, the Ellisons, are going to end up owning WB. If you're against that, you're part of the problem also. Because you're probably one of those commies that supports everything that has to do with censorship. I'm not one of them. You all know since day one, I call it how it is. I keep it real and I get a lot of heat for it. But it doesn't bother me because that's how it has to be said. Things have to be said sometimes in a straightforward way. You can't sugarcoat it, you know? I see the comments. I see when people be putting stuff. I don't mind. I'll leave them from here to, time to time and stuff. But when they cross the line, then I'll go ahead and yeah, I will delete. And if they keep on pushing, yeah, I will ban and block certain people because I'm not going to tolerate that. Or if you're here offending others and insulting others, guess what? You're also getting canceled. Oh, it's not the same when it's played against you, right? That's exactly how cancel culture loves to work. And I'm glad that it's finally coming to an end. That's it. It's done. That era is done. It's a thing of the past. It's time to move forward, look forward, see the positive. The entertainment business is changing. Things will change at DC. I'm telling you, mark my words. James Gunn in the end is going to go back to Marvel. James Gunn probably is not going to get fired. He's probably going to leave on his own. He's going to probably resign and say, you know what? I'm leaving. And then guess what? He's going to go back over there to Disney. He's going to continue with Guardians of the Galaxy. Notice how there's no Star Lord movie being done, and they announced that it was supposed to. How come nobody's stepping up to the plate? Because they're waiting for James Gunn. Wake up, my friends. I've been telling you this for a while. In the end, this is all going to happen. I told y'all Netflix would not win. I told you. I wanted Comcast originally, but then again, I'm good with Paramount. And again, we will keep on fighting and we will stop at nothing. Like I told y'all, things are changing, and the important thing is that we just want good quality. We want to see. You want us to stop talking about the Snyderverse? Then end it properly. That's it. Give us what we were promised. I want to see a Ben Affleck Batman movie. I want to see a Cyborg movie. I want to see Man of Steel 2. I want to see Black Adam face off Henry Cavill's Superman. I want to see all this. I want to see what Zack was cooking with. I want to see the Nightmare timeline. How and what takes place after we saw the Snyder cut. It just opens the door to even more content. And I cannot wait, my friends. I'm telling you, everything is moving at full throttle and just let Paramount cook. Like I see so many people talking, they don't even know seriously like what's going on. Let them do what they have to do. They're the ones that are in power. Let them run their thing. We already seen what WB has done with their poor, regime and leadership. Now it's time for a new studio to do what they have to do. Let them cook. I have faith. I know and I have hope that they're going to give us what we want. And if they don't, plain and simple, we keep on doing what we've been doing. We keep on those, keeping those wallets closed and locked, and it is what it is. But I don't see that happening. But I do see them saying, "Hey, we're gonna move away from James Gunn." The facts are all there. There's no season 3 for Peacemaker. That's already a big, huge win because it's telling you there's nothing announced after Man of Tomorrow. We're gonna get the real Man of Tomorrow with Henry Cavill. You'll see, my friends. It's all gonna take time. Things are not gonna happen overnight and stuff like that. And it is what it is. And I get it. Some people are, also still complaining about the whole thing with Ezra Miller. He is the Flash, honestly. In this universe, that's what it is. Like I said, Amber Heard replaced Aquaman. Aquaman, Jason Momoa, he's not needed no more. Darkseid took him out. Plus, he's already with James Gunn's DCU. So, why the hell do we even need him here? Let's be real. And some of you might be like, "Oh, you cropped him out of the picture." Yeah, he's not needed here no more. He was in the first one, but moving forward, he has no place in it. That's it. Wonder Woman, yes, they killed her character off, but she was supposed to come back as the evil version. And you don't believe me? The script is out there, the storyboards, the original stuff, you know. So I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. There's so much that they can build off, and there's so many things that still has to be connected. I'm telling you straight up. But all of this is gonna happen. It's just gonna happen in time. It's not gonna happen overnight. Don't expect for it to be like, oh yeah, that's it next week or next month. Nah. But I'm sure before the end of this month, March, I guarantee you, Zack Snyder is going to make a special or, announcement or post, and for sure, for the 5th year anniversary of Zack Snyder's Justice League, that's coming, I think, in May, sometime in May. Um, we're probably gonna be hearing some type of update. We're gonna probably hear some type of special update or something, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. What a rush! What an amazing time it is, and you know, this is incredible. This is incredible to see. You know how we're all making history together, united. We will defeat this. We will prevail, and in the end, like I told y'all, justice always wins. I'm telling you, we're gonna get the air cut. That's for sure. The air cut is coming for sure, and in due time, we'll be seeing all of this. But with that being said, my friends, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I'm about to get going. I'm gonna keep on drawing. Don't forget, next week, Rebel Defenders issue 2 drops. I'm getting that prepared for each and every one of you, especially to the ones that appreciate the content that I'm putting out there. Hit the hype, hit the subscribe, share the video, all that good stuff. And I'm going to catch you on the next one. If something does come up, you already know I'll be back. All right. Till then, peace out, my friends.